Hello, boys and girls. Mrs. Pruitt again, back with another writing lesson for you. You guys are doing a great job with those capital letters at the beginning of your sentences and spaces, and now you've learned ending punctuation, the period. Today we're going to learn two more ending punctuations. I really like these. These are not as common as the period. You won't see as many of these when you're reading and when you're writing, but they're still very, very important so we can help understand your writing and how you're communicating. So today we're going to learn how to use a question mark and an exclamation mark at the end of a sentence. So everybody say or listen to me read the I can statement. I can learn how to use a question mark and an exclamation mark at the end of a sentence. Now, what is a question mark? Well, this thing right here is kind of little. Is a question mark. It has a period at the bottom of it. I'm going to show you a big one right here. It's a backwards C with a line down and a little period below it. You use that at the end of a sentence if you ask a question. So for example, if I say, "What is your name?" Well, you're going to respond. You're going to answer me. So if you wrote this out, "What is your name?" when your voice stops at the end, you would put a question mark. If I say, "What time do you have soccer practice?" Well, I asked you a question because you have to respond to me. You have to answer. So if you say, "Oh, it's at 5 o'clock," that's answering, right? So these are question sentences. Okay, a question mark is just what you put at the end of that sentence to show people in your writing, hey, I asked a question here. So again, if I asked you, "What time is your soccer practice?" when your voice stops, when you're done writing each of those words, you would put this mark right here called a question mark. Now, the other bolded word in our I can statement, sometimes people call this an exclamation point, because this point right here, like the period at the bottom, people call that a point, or an exclamation mark. They mean the same thing. Well, what is an exclamation mark? What does the word exclamation mean? Exclamation means you're showing strong emotion. You might be really sad. Like, she doesn't want to be my friend anymore. Or you might be really happy. I love roller coasters. Can we go on that again? Or maybe you're scared about something. I don't like that. So anytime you're showing strong emotion, you're going to use this cool mark, which is just the number 1 or a lowercase l with a period dot below it. Look, a line down and a dot or a period. That's called an exclamation mark. These are really fun to use. But you don't want to use them too much because then your paper gets kind of wild and crazy. So just a couple when you're writing are always good to add to your papers to show emotion. Okay? So I have 3 examples for you. The first one I'm going to write is a question. So I'm going to be putting, when my voice stops at the end of my sentence, this mark called a question mark. And I just want to ask you guys this question. Do you enjoy writing? I hope you do, because this is one of my favorite things to teach. I want to know, do you enjoy writing? So I asked you a question. Do is a question word, like who, what, when, where, why, how. So remember my question mark? That has to go at the end of my sentence so that when people are reading my stories or whatever I'm writing, they know that I'm asking a question. Do you enjoy writing? And when you're writing this in your journals later, go ahead and tell me, yes, I do, or no, I don't, or so, because we want to know whether or not you enjoy writing. Now, that is a question mark. The other part of my lesson today is that strong emotion, that exclamation mark or exclamation point. So one of the sentences I'm going to model for you is, I love my first graders, because I do. I love all of you, and so do your teachers, Miss Williams, Miss Hunter, Miss Shields. We all love you so much, and we're so excited, and we want to show you that we're excited and that we really love you. So I'm going to start with that capital letter. I'm going to leave spaces between my words. I love my first graders. And I'm going to show you that I have lots of emotion. And I'm going to put that exclamation mark at the end of my sentence. Okay? But remember, we don't always just use those when we're happy. We can also use them when we're scared or when we're upset or when we're sad. And so my third example is one that actually happens to us sometimes. We have a cute dog at our house. Her name is Brandy. And sometimes we'll accidentally leave the door open or the gate and she runs out and I get nervous. So I might yell something like, "My dog got out of the gate!" And I'm using strong emotion to let people know I'm kind of nervous. Like, can you get my dog for me? I don't want anything to happen to her. So when I write that sentence, "My dog got out of the gate," I'm going to end just like I did right here with an exclamation mark because I'm showing strong emotion. Okay? So let me model that sentence for you. Capital M. The rest of them are lowercase. Spaces between my words. My dog got out of the gate. And I have to show you that I'm showing strong emotion, so I'm going to put that exclamation mark at the end. So boys and girls, later today you're going to get an opportunity in your journals to practice writing these sentences. And we are going to look to make sure that when it asks a question, you remember your question mark. And if you're showing strong emotion, we're going to look for an exclamation mark at the end of your sentences. We can't wait to see your work. Bye.